Hi, this video is about how to find the area of parallelograms. So our goals for this video are to determine the area of a parallelogram and also solve real-world problems related to the area of parallelograms. Before we get started, let's remember how to find the area of a polygon. So remember when we talked about this, we learned that you can decompose these figures into smaller shapes. So I'm going to draw a line right here, and I now have a square and a triangle. So I'm going to find the area of each. So for a square, length times width, base times height, either way. And you also might see side to the second power, which means side squared or side times side. And that's because the length and the width are the same. So I'm going to do 3.6 times 3.6. I'm going to do that off to the side over here real quick. So that's 36. That's 18 plus 3 is 21. 0. 18 carry 9 plus 1 is 10. Okay, and then my decimal goes here. So the square portion is 12.96 yards squared. And then I have to also find the area of the triangle. And remember, that is base times height divided by 2. I'm going to be doing 2 times 3, which is 6, divided by 2, which is 3. So 3 yards squared. So now, to get my final answer, I'm going to add these two. And that's going to be 15.96 yards squared. There's my final answer. Everything together. So first, let's make sure we understand a parallelogram is a four-sided figure, just like a rectangle, just like a square. But the only thing that has to be true is that the opposite sides are parallel. So you can see that the top side here is parallel to the bottom. Those are opposite sides. And then same goes here and here. Those are opposite. So this is like a standard parallelogram that you will see, but you can also see that a rhombus is a parallelogram, a square is a parallelogram, and a rectangle is a parallelogram. So also they're parallel, and then they're also the equal in length. So one of the opposite sides can't be longer than the other. So how would you find the area of this? Okay, I'm going to show you a little screencast video, and it's going to show you how we can take this parallelogram and transform it into a different figure using the same amount of space. So look how they are detaching the triangle, and they're moving it across the shape to the other side. And think about what shape is formed. Okay, hopefully you see that that creates a rectangle, and all they did was chop off one side and move it. They didn't take anything away, they didn't add anything, they just moved it. Therefore, the formula is the same as a rectangle, where you take the bottom, which is called, in this case, the base, it can also be the length, and you multiply it by the height, which is also the width. So the same formula. So here is, again, a picture of a parallelogram, and it shows you the formula. Area equals base times height. So I challenge you to pause the video and give this one a try, and then we will talk about it. So they actually have this turned. I would consider this to be the base, and this to be the height. Remember that the base and height have to make a right angle. So they are actually trying to trick us with this 10. We do not need it. Okay, so base times height, the base is 6, the height is 8. Think about what is 6 times 8. We know that that is 48, and we need to include our units, inches squared. And that would be our answer. Okay, again, pause this video and try this one on your own. Okay, this says Mr. Chen is tiling a floor in his home. Each tile is shaped like a parallelogram and has a base of 6 inches and a height of 2.5 inches. So that's each tile. So he's going to be putting a lot of those on his floor. Mr. Chen uses a total of 275 tiles. Determine the total area in square inches. So the first thing we need to do is find the area of one tile. Then we can multiply that by 275 to find the total area of all tiles. Okay, so again, the dimensions of my one tile is 6 by 2.5. So I'm going to multiply that. I'm just going to come over here to the side. That's 30. 12 plus 3, 15, and I have one number behind the decimal. So I'm going to have one number behind the decimal in my answer. So that is 15, and that is inches squared. Okay, but again, I have 275 of these, so I'm going to be multiplying that by 275. That's 25. 35 plus 2 is 37. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. Put my placeholder, 1 times 5, 1 times 7, 1 times 2, and add all that up. And my final answer, just kind of adding over here to the side because I ran out of room. And that is going to be 4,125 inches squared. And that is my final answer for the total area of that space. Okay. So before you leave, make sure you feel comfortable to determine the area of a parallelogram and also solving real-world problems related to the area of the parallelogram. And thanks for watching.